Good morning from Hale Mountain. How's everyone today? I hope you're doing well, and I'm going to share a very simple recipe with you. Like I told you the other day, I owned a diner for 10 years, and good food is so good. It doesn't have to be hard to do. It can be semi-homemade, and as long as you do it with love, your food is going to be delicious. So today we're going to make, I call it homemade coconut cream pie. Now, I started out with a pie crust. And I told you all the other day, I use the rolled up pie crust. I find, that's hot. I find that it is just as good and so easy. I don't have a big mess when I get through, and I love doing it. So I think as long as you love what you're doing, it's going to show in your food. Now, I started with 2.5 cups of cold milk, 1 box of instant vanilla pie filling. I know that sounds so simple, but it is simple and it is good. Next, you stir it all up real good. Make sure your pudding mix is all stirred up good. Then I toasted in the toaster oven my coconut. You don't want it burnt, but you want it good and brown. And this way, it just gives it a wonderful flavor. So I just go by the handfuls. I start putting in like 2 handfuls at a time. Mix it up. Now, my family likes it, and my customers liked it really full of coconut. So I never was stingy with it. I always used plenty of coconut. So I'm going to use all that was on my little pan there. Mix it all up real good. Now, I always mix my pudding and my milk and let it set for just a few minutes before I add my coconut. Let me get a spatula. The reason being, it's easier to pour in your pie crust. Now, I've already cooked this pie crust in the oven. You want it brown. And the browner it is, the better it will hold up in your pie. Now it's still hot. Can you see those little slats in there? You have to cut those in your pie crust before you bake it, and as it bakes, if a bubble comes up. You've got to do that, because if you don't, your pie crust will raise up with a big hump in the middle. And if you do it after, when it's like that, then your pie crust just falls apart. So one thing for sure, be sure you brown your pie crust pretty good. And I cooked it in the oven about 425, and I just kept watching it. Now I put my coconut under broil, and I had to really watch that because it can get away from you very fast. And I've got extra from when I was toasting it this morning, so I can put it on top of my pie. Now, I absolutely love to cook, but if something seems really hard, I kind of shy away from it until I absolutely have time. And since I retired in October, I have more time, but I find I don't want to spend it doing hard cooking. I want to spend my time doing something I love, which is not hard cooking, and being able to take a 4-wheeler out, ride it, check the cows, be with my husband when he needs me. And there's just so many things I'd rather be doing than a bunch of hard recipes. So I'm just going to show you, this is especially for starter cooks. This is a very good podcast for beginner cooks because it's not hard, it's easy to do. And one time how I even learned to do it this way, we were having a social at church, and we had a church full of people that were marvelous bakers and cooks. And somebody said, why don't you bring a coconut cream pie? And I said, okay. So I did, and I made it this way. Only way I knew how. And the man who is from a family of good cooks told me after that gathering, he said, Miss Brenda, that was the best coconut cream pie. Well, boy, that made me feel good, so I never tried any other way. But I honestly think as long as you cook and you put the love from your heart in your cooking, your food's going to be so good. And that love can only come from Jesus, of course. So I think this is cooled enough so I can add this now. And just pour it in and after it's set a little while, it won't run outside your pie crust. Because your pie crust is done cooked. And so a good cook one told me when I had the diner, said all your profit's in the corners of your bowl. So I've never forgot that, even though I'm not cooking for money anymore. I always make sure I get the corners of my bowl. Okay, now then, this Cool Whip. I can make meringue. I don't like it. And Ronnie really doesn't care for meringue either. I made a chocolate meringue one day and it was so good, but this is our favorite. I don't use the generic brand at all. I use Cool Whip brand. I'm not advertising for Cool Whip, but I'm just telling you it's the best. Now this is an 8-ounce package, and I'm not stingy with it because it really makes your cream pie. So you want to make sure you get it all over your filling so your filling won't dry out. And I probably will use this whole 8-ounce package and cover all of your places. And really, if somebody says, hey, can you bring a pie to church tomorrow? As long as you've got milk, vanilla pudding mix, a pie crust, and some toasted coconut. I keep toasted coconut toast. I keep it in the cabinet. If I'm not going to make anything in the near future, I might toast it and put it in the freezer, put it in a Ziploc bag. Used all of that. Now I come over here and I garnish the top with toasted coconut. If you ate at my diner, you have eaten a lot of these pies. Because in the 10 years' time, this is the only way I made coconut. So now my secret's out, and I love sharing it with you. So voila, there you go. Coconut cream pie. Made in less than 10 minutes. Not counting the time I had to toast my coconut and cook my pie shell. But it's ready to go. So once you get it made, pop it in the fridge. And by the time your husband gets home or you have to go to your event, it'll be ready. So I'm going to put this in the fridge, and it was a blessing to meet with you all today. I thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'm going to be doing a few more things. I can't say what day. I've got a busy schedule coming up, but I'll be putting things on periodically. So keep an eye out for home cooking on Hale Mountain with Brenda. And I can't wait to see you next time. I'm going to put this in the fridge. Until we meet again, thank you. Bye-bye.